Okay guys, here to do two questions from the formative assessment. It's question 14 I'm going to look at, question 15. So let's have a little look at that. It might help you a little bit with your corrections. Alright, so question 14 first. Asked to create a triangle with vertices, so vertices means corners if you don't know that, at 1, minus 1. So 1, minus 1. So the first number refers to the x-axis, 1, and then down, minus 1 on the y-axis. The second one is at 2 on the x, and then down, minus 3. And the third point is at 1, minus 3. So you should have created a triangle here. Labeled A. So you're not labeling the corners, they're labeling the triangle. Translate this by a vector, this is part B, 2, 6. So 2, 6. So the number on top tells me to go left or right. If it's positive, it goes right. This one goes to the right 2 units. And this 6 up or down is the bottom thing. So this is 6, it's positive, so it goes up. Alright, so let's do that. Let's move a point at a time. So I'm going to move this point on top, 2 to the right, and then I'm going to go up 6. So I end up way up here at 3, 5 actually. And then I need to move them all that much. So 2 to the right, up 6. Here we go. 2 to the right, up 6. Here we go. Of course, you would use a ruler. Draw these lines. I can't do a ruler on this. But yeah. So if you weren't able to print out the formative assessment, you probably would have to draw a Cartesian plane. So that's that x, y axis. You should be able to draw them quite quickly at this stage. Alright, so that's done now. That's to be labelled B, according to the question. In part C then, triangle B needs to be reflected. So it needs to be looking at itself in the mirror in the line x equals 1. So where does x equal 1? Well, here is my x-axis. X equals 1 here. There is a line that goes right through that, and it's got to be a straight line parallel to the y-axis. So you draw this in with your ruler. Straight line parallel to the y-axis. This line here. That's the line x equal to 1 because it goes through 1 and is always at 1 the whole way up and down. So it's a new line for this to be reflected in. So B needs to be reflected in this. So it's going to look at its image. It's going to be over here. So this is 2 units away from the line. So it's going to be 2 boxes away from it on the other side. So this line here is going to look at itself over here at minus 1. So 2 boxes, 2 boxes. And then, but it's going to look backwards at itself. So it will fold over this line. So that means the other dot is going to go that side of the line. So further away. That one's 3 units away on this side. This furthest point. So this furthest point must be 3 units away on that side. Join, and then label C. Okay, so that is question 14. Question 15, I'll do here. Hopefully it might be even easier to see. Okay, so this is a tricky one. So vertices again of a triangle. So we're looking at 2, 1, 4, 1. Oh, 2, 1. Over 2 and x up 1, like that. 4, 1 down here, put a dot, so 4 and x, 1 up and y. And 3, 4, so over 3 and x, and up 4. Okay, so here. Alright. Cool, label that x, or no, A. Alright, so you use a ruler for this. Crucial that you use a ruler to make it far more accurate. Mine is probably not going to be that accurate, but you get the idea. Alright, reflect triangle A in the mirror line x equals y. If you're not sure where that mirror line is, it can also be called y equals x. It's where the x value equals the y value all along the line. So here would be a point on it, where 1 on x, 1 on y. 2 on x, 2 on y, be a point on this line. 3 on x, 3 on y. Now, for the moment, at year 7 level, you just need to know that it's a diagonal line that goes through the origin perfectly through all of these points, which is great. So make sure it goes through the point 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and so on. Now yours will definitely be more accurate than that terrible line I've drawn. Okay, so you may notice that this reflection is through a line that goes through the shape. Well, that's going to be difficult for you guys to draw. But use each point separately. I'm going to change color pens. Better. I can't remember where I put my pen. Okay. So I'm just going to reflect each point separately. Now the reflection is going to be weird looking because it's going to be over this line. Remember, it must look at itself perfectly in the line. So this dot is going to look at itself in the line and see its reflection over here somewhere. And what you should do is get your set square and your ruler, measure that distance, make sure it's the same as that distance, and make sure it makes a right angle or perfect perpendicular to that line. And that's the first point, looking at itself in the mirror. This point down here needs to look at itself in the mirror. Do the same thing, measure the distance, same distance the other side, so it should be somewhere here like that. Perhaps a little bit further up. Okay. So same distance, okay? And then the last bit, which point am I making? This point. So it's a bit further from the line. So measure that distance, and then measure the distance to the other side. Around there is the same distance. Make sure that's a perpendicular line straight through. Okay, so now I've got some new points here. 1, 2, 3. Join those 3 points. You should notice the same shape, but it's, well, it's reflected over that line now. So maybe you can imagine that it would fold perfectly across that line, and the more accurate you have it, the better. So if you see on my solutions, it's a little bit more accurate and it looks like it would fold perfectly over that line. Okay, label it B. Alright, the last thing to do so is enlarge this by a scale factor of 2 with the origin as the center of the enlargement. So the origin, 0, 0. So right here, where x meets y. Alright. So, instead of 20, scale factor of 2. Remember again, here is our center. You would measure the distance to a point, first point. Okay, that distance may be 2 centimeters. You would then need to measure from there, add another 2, so double this. So originally it's 2 centimeters, this would be now 4 centimeters, so it'll be somewhere up here. Now my sketch is going to be very bad because I'm not using a ruler, but I imagine it's around here somewhere. Twice the distance away from the origin. Do that with all points. Get your ruler, measure that distance, double it. You can use a calculator if it's not an even number. And double the distance, so somewhere up here maybe. And then the third point, which is this top point here. And then double the distance up there somewhere. Okay, so that's a very rough diagram I've drawn. It looks far better when you're doing it, I'm sure. Okay, so when I join those points, I get a triangle that looks something like that. I label it B. Now you can see slightly better on the solutions. That's what it should look like perfectly if you actually measure the distance and use the ruler. But at least you have the method now. Okay, so if you have any questions on any other ones you would like me to go through in a video, leave me a message on ManageBack and I'll try and get to it tomorrow. Otherwise, keep going with your study, and there will be some kind of online assessment on Friday. So use the revision questions that I have up in ManageBack. You can also use my iMath for study, and you must do the formative assessment today. And let me know if you have any problems with that. Okay? So yeah.